Hello. Good evening to you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I am known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert. I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. Wanted to jump on just for a few minutes to share a few things with you on tonight. And so we'll give you a few minutes to join. You see what the title of this live feed is. When are you most productive? When are you most productive? And I know some people are most productive late at night. Some are most productive early in the morning. But I want you to think about, when do you get your most work? When do you get the most work done? When is it that you are productive, that you're adding value, you're knocking things off of your results list, you're doing the things that need to be done to be able to check off the day? So I want you to think about when you are most productive. And so want you to really evaluate that, because a lot of times you don't understand why it is that you're not completing your tasks. You don't understand why you are feeling fatigue at a certain time of the day. And I don't know how to turn this off here. That is making all of this noise during the broadcast. Well, I'll do that later. Good evening, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining. When you all come on, just hit the share button. Go ahead and invite someone. We're going to talk about a little bit tonight, when are you most productive? And we're going to start doing we're going to start doing some exercises. That's the word I'm looking for. We're going to start doing some exercises periodically where we are more productive. So the question that I'm asking is, when are you more productive? Do you even pay attention to when you get the most of your work done? For me, I get the most work done early in the morning. I'm not a night person. I'm not a night owl. I'm not one to think that I'm going to stay up all night and get something done. Because I'm going to tell you, when we think that we are being super productive today for something that, we think we're going to complete a task. And so we figure, okay, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to knock it out. And then you have a lot of things to do the next day. But you find yourself, good evening, Brother Warren. Thank you so much for joining. You find yourself the next day not able to do most of the things that you needed to get done. Why? Because you're sluggish, because you're tired and you're sleepy and you're feeling fatigued because you didn't get enough rest the night before. So why not just balance out your day, have a cutoff time? It doesn't take all night to do everything. Some projects will take a little bit longer, but you have to balance. So don't feel like, okay, I need to work and stay up. Good evening, Dr. Marisa. Thank you so much for joining. That you feel like you have to stay up all night to get a project done. If you balance out, when you evaluate when you are most productive, you will find that you get more done during your peak hours than you would trying to stay up all night, trying to work 7 days a week, trying to work from sun up to sundown. And that's why you can still look young. You don't have to have bags up under your eyes because you stand up late every night, every week, every month. And a lot of times when you're doing that, you're up, but you're not productive. You are up, but you are not productive. Good evening, young lady. You woke me up. Good evening, Sydney. Thank you so much for joining. You are not productive when you feel like I'm going to stay up all night and get this thing done. So I want you to really think about, because it's a thing that we don't think about. We do not think about when we're most productive. So we're trying to do things in our less productive time of the day and wonder why we're not getting things done. So think about when you are most alert, when you're more apt to get things done. And if you're not a night person, don't do anything at night. For me, trying to read at night is a waste of time. I'm not going to remember nothing I read. It's a waste of time. And so for me, if I'm tired and sleepy, I'm not going to read. But I can read early in the morning. I can read, in the evening time. But I am not going to read at night. So what is it that you know that you're doing? Good evening, Shamika. Thank you so much for joining. What is it that you know that you are doing and you're doing it at the wrong time? You are doing it at the wrong time. You need to evaluate when you're most productive and stop thinking that you have to stay up all night and do things all day. It does not take all day and all night to do nothing. You can do anything. Anything that you need to do, you can do it in a reasonable amount of time. When we plan, thank you so much for sharing, Shamika. Good evening, Pastor Princess. Thank you so much for joining. When we proactively plan when we are going to do our work at a time that we are most productive, we will find that we will get more done. I tell myself, good evening, Shanti. Thank you so much for joining. I have a tagline that may offend some people sometime, but one of my taglines that I've had for years, this is not something that I just came up with yesterday or last week. This is something that I've been working with the company that I'm with for almost 14 years. But it's a tagline that I had because I didn't have time for time drainers and time wasters. And so I used to tell the people I work with, I said, if it's not productive, value added, and making any money, I don't have time for it. Because see, a lot of times we will spend our peak hours. Good evening, Diane. Thank you so much for joining. A lot of times we will spend our peak hours doing things that's not productive. We will spend our peak hours doing things that's not value added. We will spend our peak hours doing things that is not making any money. And so when it don't make any money, to me, it don't make sense. And I know that may offend some people. But if it is not productive, value added, and making money, it don't make sense. It does not make sense for me to allow you to cause me to come off my wall. I am on a journey. I have an agenda. I have a deadline. I have a thing that I'm trying to do, but I'm being distracted by things that are not productive. And see, if you just take the opposite of those things, why would we choose to do things that are not productive, that are add no value, and that are not giving us an increase monetarily? So we find ourselves doing these vain things just to say we are, spinning our wheels, and we're doing these things, to pass time by. And God bless you, Bishop from Pakistan. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you. But why would we spend valuable time, the one resource that we cannot replace, the one thing that we cannot get back, the one thing that once it's gone, is gone. This minute, this moment, this day, this time, we will never see it again. Why would we spend that precious, most valuable thing on things that's not productive? On things that's not value added, things that are not helping anyone, things that are not propelling people, to the next level, things that are not taking you forward, things that are not bringing you joy, things that are not making you happy, things that are not doing anything. They're not life-giving. Why would we spend time on those things? So when you think about it, when you ask yourself the question, why am I doing this thing that's not productive? This thing is not the best use of my time. You have to evaluate it, because see, when you don't evaluate it, there are things getting by in your life, in your day. There are things that you are spending your 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds on. There are things that you're buying and you don't even realize that you're spending your time on it. You know what they say, time is money and money is time. You're spending time on things that is not bringing you any money. You're not working on revenue generating activities. You are lollygagging and spending time with people that don't even believe in what you're doing. So you have to start thinking in your mind and feeling things in your heart and thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I engaging in this activity that is not bringing me joy? Why am I engaging in this activity that is not bringing me peace? Why am I engaging in this activity that is not building my legacy, that is not taking me farther, that is not allowing me to walk in my purpose? Why am I engaging in that activity? See, a lot of times people would think that you've gone, that you have moved away because they haven't seen you. But some of those places that you are not value added to me. Those things are not taking me to my purpose. It's pulling me from my purpose. So we have to evaluate if it's productive, if it is value added, and if it can make you some money. And so I asked the question, when are you most productive? When are you at your best self? When are you pushing out your best work? When are you pushing out the most of the work that you do? We got to go with the 80-20. 20% of the things you do is 80% of your results. So when are you most productive to produce within that 20%? See, a lot of us, we wait till we do everything we want to do. The stuff that's not, that's the things that are not going to increase your bottom line. We'll work on all that stuff, like watching TV. What is that doing for you? Are they teaching you anything? They schooling you, giving you some? When you think about the things that a lot of people watch on TV, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? When you get through watching TV and you see them living their dream, and the thing I have on TV, I'm thinking these people are living their dreams, whether they're anchors, whether they're news reporters, whether they are actors or whatever it is that they are, and whatever the thing is that they do, they're doing what they want to do, and they're doing it and getting paid, and you're watching them get paid and you broke. I know people get tired of me talking about being broke, but it ought to bother you. And it ought to bother you so much that you want to do something about it. It ought to bother you to the fact that said, dang, I do sit up and watch a lot of TV. I am scrolling on social media. I am creating TikTok videos that's not bringing me any money. So you got to ask yourself, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I doing the things that I am doing? And some things you do, it just might bring you just flat out joy. Do that thing. If it brings you joy, do that thing. If it brings you peace, because see, there are so many things that can fall into those categories. You have to be open. There are so many things that can fall into the category of productive, value added, and the reason for wanting to make the money. Because see, when you're thinking productive and value added, you can be doing a thing for somebody else that is adding value to somebody else's life, to somebody else's business, to somebody else's purpose. So you don't want to narrow it down to this one thing or two things, because it can be a vast amount of things where you can be a influence and impact in somebody's life, an inspiration in somebody's business, where you can propel them to the next level. That's your value for the day. But you have to be intentional on what you do. You have to be intentional on what you do. You can't just wing the day. You have to be proactive in planning your day. And so I want to give you a few tips, even when you first get up in the morning. Your first thing shouldn't be social media. Because do you know how much of a distraction that can be? Do you know how much of a destroyer that can be? You know, getting on social media first thing in the morning before you do other things that are value added and productive, it can mess up your whole day. And the reason I say that is, you know, sometimes you'll open up social media, you'll learn that somebody has passed away, you'll learn that somebody has been in a car accident, you'll learn that somebody has been abducted, somebody has been abused, somebody has come out that said they're addicted to something. You get all of this negative stuff when you open up social media first thing in the morning. Not to say it's not there all day long. But you do not want to start your day with negativity, because you know why? When you start your day on the wrong foot, when you start your day with negativity, it kind of sets the tone for your whole day. You're either in a depressed mood, you're in a mood, you know, you got a stank attitude. It's something, you know. Sometimes you can look on social media and you just get offended by something that somebody said, a comment that somebody made. You may get offended because, good evening, Elegance, thank you so much for joining, because somebody didn't comment, or they didn't hit the like, they didn't share, or whatever it is. So you want to make sure that first thing in the morning that it is not for you to get your phone, or it's not for you to get on your MacBook or your laptop, your computer, your desktop, your iPad or your tablet, whatever it is that you're watching social media on. You do not want to grab that thing first thing in the morning and mess your day up. Right, the whole day goes bad. When you start your day before you do your rituals, or you have your morning routine, or whatever you want to call it. For me, my first thing is I like worship and praise music. I get up and do my prayer. You know, I like to read and all those things before, you know, sometimes you have people, and this is the thing, because sometimes when you're being productive and you may be doing some things that you need to do on social media, a lot of times people think because they see the green light that that's the time for them to be talking to you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you know, you have some people, they'll ask the question on their page. They be like, okay, who up with me? That's your time for check-in. But don't think because you see the light on that people's trying to talk to you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, they may be a social media marketer and maybe looking for social media tips, or maybe trying to see when you're most active or when you're most relevant, or I don't know what they're looking for. But that's not the time for you to be up in. I mean, you got to have business hours, you know, and not to say that you're not going to talk to people outside of 5 o'clock, but I mean, do you think somebody really trying to hold a conversation with you at 3 o'clock in the morning? At 3 o'clock in the morning, what you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? What you doing? What you should be doing is sleep. If you're not at work, you should be asleep at 3. And I know all of us are not asleep at 3. Sometimes we're woken up, you know, on the third watch. Sometimes we are praying. Sometimes you may be looking for things to pray about. Sometimes you may be looking to pray for somebody. Sometimes, but that's not the time for you to be holding no conversation like it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Girl, what you doing? Boo bye. When are you most productive? Y'all quiet. You're not really saying a whole lot. When are you most productive? Are you trying to do things on your off season, on your off time, on your time where you're not productive? You done did all that you want to do. You done sit around and watch TV, and you done scroll social media. Then when it comes down time for you to do what you need to do, you don't have no energy because you spent your peak hours doing stuff that was not productive, not value added, not making any money, not inspirational, not motivational, not empowering. You done laid there all day and did nothing. Now you done waited till the last minute to throw up something, and now you saying I'm at my best setting up against my deadline. You may meet your deadline, but you didn't do your best. You ain't thriving last minute, throwing up stuff, skipping over stuff, and overlooking stuff. You're not doing your best. But that's an excuse that we tell ourselves to make us not feel bad about us doing the thing at the last minute. So we'll say, you know, I thrive when I'm up against the clock. You watching the clock and you jacking stuff up, and then you get offended because you said, now they know they could have gave me the rest of it. No, you didn't earn the rest of that, right? So ask yourself, when are you most productive? And then start, utilizing yourself when you're most productive. When you're most productive, that's not the time for you to be flopping and yesing to everybody and everything that they have going on, because this is what happens. I need you all to talk in the comments. This is what happened. Your most productive time, you're busy running around doing everything else that everybody else wants you to do. And when it comes down to you doing the things you need to do, you don't have no energy. Hit me up in the comments if that's true. If you have experienced that, when you give everybody your best self, and when it comes for you, when it comes down to you, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're drained, because you gave everybody else your best. And how many times do we do God like that? We flipping and flopping and bopping and doing everything everybody else wants us to do. But when it comes time for us spending time with God, we're tired. We don't want to read. We don't want to hear nothing. We don't want to worship. We don't want to pray. We don't want to do anything. So I want you to evaluate yourself. When are you most productive? And evaluate that against your day. Evaluate when you're at your peak, when you have your energy. You didn't sleep all night. And if you sleep all night and you should, unless something wrong, you should feel pretty, rejuvenated, rested, and ready. But you don't want to give all your best self to somebody else and you don't have no self for yourself. Okay, I'm seeing all these comments and I ain't even see y'all. Come on, I ain't even see all this stuff. What's really going on? Good evening, Nikita. Come on here. That's the truth. Yes, Lord. Amen. Pouring my oil out, but taking control of my life all the time. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments. I had to move. What's really going on? Why these things ain't moving up? Talk to me. So you have to take control back over your time. And say that, just feel weak. People will drain you. They'll drain you dry. They will drain you dry. They will allow you to do whatever that you need to do for them. And they don't care if you still gotta go cook. They don't care if you gotta go do this and that. They just care about what they care about. But that's where we have to own our own time. We like to say, I'm managing my time. You can manage your time, but you need to own it. Don't allow somebody else to own your time where they are dictating what you should be doing, when you should be doing it. Because if you evaluate what they dictate for you, you're not included in that. They want you to do this and they want you to do that. Do you mind if you can do this? And can you do that? And can you do this? And can you do that? And can you do this? Good evening, Linda. Thank you so much for joining. You have to evaluate when you are most productive. And let me ask you something, Shamika. Shamika, where did that get you? What that gets us is a life of regrets, because we have let years and years pass us by that we haven't done the things that we thought we should have done by a certain time in life, because we have allowed somebody else to dictate our whole life on when we should do this. We used to have to think, you want me to jump how high, and you want me to jump when, all these different sorts of types of things. But you have to take control of your time. You have to take control of your time. So you have to evaluate when you're most productive, when you can get your most work done. If you know you can't get nothing done when Johnny is at home, stop trying to work while he kissing all on your neck, and now you done left from where you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you doing something else. Why are you going to try to work at a time? I turn my active button off. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of regrets. If you know your peak season is not when your kids is running around and you trying to do this and that, you know what? You're going to have to either put them down early, or you're going to have to get up early, or you're going to have to find them something to do. We got to stop using our excuse. You got to stop using Mary, Johnny, Boo, Bay. You got to stop using everybody as the excuse as to why you're not being productive. You have to own your 1,440 minutes and do what you got to do. That is the number one thing that we have a problem with. And the reason that I'm going to tell you why some of us procrastinate. A lot of us procrastinate because we done gave our best self to something else that's not on our task, that's not on our project, that's not working toward our goal, that is not getting us closer to our desires, because you're building somebody else's dream. And you're not just building somebody else's dream on your 9 to 5, your 8 to 4, your 7 to 3. You're not just building somebody else's dream on your job. You're building somebody else's dream in your family. Because you have allowed somebody else to dictate what you do with your time. And then you'll tell yourself, well, I gotta wait till my husband sleep. I gotta wait till my wife sleep. I gotta wait till my kids sleep. And I mean, do you think about the time when you wake up in the morning? Do you really? I mean, like for me, I'm up at 4:30. Good evening, Faith. Thank you so much for joining. I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't have time. I'm not going to be able to be productive doing something for me at 10, 11, or 12 o'clock at night. I've already been up 16, 17 hours. Do you think you're productive when you're tired and you're drained? So you have to say that, look, baby. Look, honey, look, sweetheart, look, boo, look, chocolate drop, look, whatever you call him or her. This time right here, I am dedicating this time to my business. I'm not doing that anymore. We have to take control. And it's not being selfish. You taking control of your 1,440 minutes is not being selfish. It's not being selfish for your kids, because guess what? Your kids are your responsibility temporarily, because when they get older enough to start doing things the way they want to do it, you are not going to be their first priority. So you put your whole life off, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. And look here, whoever they are, you got to tell them, look, we're not going to do this all day long. You have people that they don't know what their purpose is. And they want to derail you off of yours. I don't even answer my phone during productive time. Come on now, somebody. That's the way you got to be. When you're doing your time blocking and you're doing your productive time, you got to say, I don't care what ding go off. I don't care what chain go off. And I don't care what ring go off. I'm not answering. You got to turn these notifications off and stop thinking that the world is going to stop spinning because you're not in it. Because you know what? The day that you're really not in it, the world is going to go on. So we have to deactivate ourselves from the world during the times where we're trying to, in our peak season, where we're trying to get some things done, and stop thinking that, hey, that if they don't get in contact with me, they're going to think something wrong. No, you need to have a conversation with your people and tell them, look, during this time, I get so amazed because, see, my mom, she get my routine, but, now she'll ask me, you got to call. But for a while, she'll call me every time I get ready to do something that I've been already told her in advance. Look, at this time, you be doing so much, I can't keep up with your schedule. So now she'll kind of ask, because it became important to her to, you got to have that conversation to say, look, for me, I know every other week on Mondays and Tuesdays from 7:55 to 8:45 I'm on a prayer call, and on that Saturday I'm on a prayer call same time. I know every morning between 5:30 and 5:45, 7 days a week I'm on a prayer call. I know these days. I know every other week I'm in MTI training and all these different sorts of types of things. Not because someone that throws you a football means that you can catch it. 7 habits of highly effective people. We got to be effective with our time. We have to have habits. We have to have boundaries. And you have to know that with you or without you, the world is going to do what the world is going to do. So you have to evaluate when you are most productive, and stop letting people make a fool out of you thinking that the only way they can get things done is with you. Boo, you gonna have to miss me for a few minutes because I got something else to do. I got a goal to meet. I got an agenda I have an agenda to get on. I have some tasks I need to complete. You don't have time to be sitting around talking about nothing all day long. So when are you most productive? I want you to evaluate starting tomorrow. And do you know during your most productive hours, that's when people want to talk to you the most, when you done already told them, look, between this time and this time, this is what I'm going to be doing. They want to call and talk to you about nothing. And what you do, sit there and talk to them about nothing. And then what you do, now you don't feel like doing what you was doing because you've been distracted. Do you know every time you answer your phone or you start looking at an email and scrolling Facebook, it takes you 10 to 15 minutes to get refocused? How many times you going to do that through the day before you decide that, you know, enough is enough and too much is too much? This is my peak season. During peak season, I ain't talking to you. I'm not talking to you during peak season. Peak season is your productive time. Peak season is your productive time. Do you know, like, for people that travel, owning timeshares, and if you're part of a travel club or whatever, they have peak season. Sometimes when it's not a peak season, if you're using points, like I'm with Wyndham, if you're using points, during non-peak seasons, you can get your little condos for a little cheaper, for a few lesser points. But baby, during peak season, they gonna stick it to you. So if you want to talk to me during peak season, during productive season, during value added season, during money making season, you can talk to me, but you're just gonna have to pay for it. You're gonna have to pay for it. So you have to tell people, if you want to talk to me during this time, it's a premium. The world add premiums, but we sit up and give all our stuff out for free. And then we have all these regrets, and we'll blame everybody else for something that we allowed to be done. Yes, tell good time Tina want to call you, meet up for drinks and Kiki. You better find that send the voicemail button, because baby, we got our head down and butt up. We trying to produce some stuff. We trying to get some stuff done, because you know what? 2020 is not over. I know today is the 17th, but it is not over. We still have 11 days for this year to be the best year of your life. Do you know that you can do some things in 11 days? You better tell them, honey, I'm busy. I'm busy. This is peak season. And if you want to talk to me during peak season, baby, it's going to cost you a premium. And when you start charging people premium prices, listen, I'm trying to help somebody. Share this out. When you start charging people premium prices for stuff that they was used to getting, for a bargain, they'll stop messing with you. The best way for you to the best way for you to get worrisome folks to stop bothering you is to start charging premium prices. Start charging your value, because you know what your worth is. People are wearing the skin off of you. People will call you for everything. They would advise. They want you to advise them, and they want you to show them this, and they want you to tell them that, and you tell them all this stuff, and they'll take everything that you tell them, and they'll go and pay somebody else. Oh, y'all not gonna talk to me? Yes. Good. God created the world in less than 11 days. All things are possible. Your time is valuable. But see, you got to put value to it, Shamika. I tell you all the time that, even with respect, it starts with you. Respecting your time and valuing your time, it starts with you. If you come on, I was busy, but I can talk. No, I can't talk. I'm busy and I'll call you back. Or I'm not answering. If you scared to tell people you're going to call them back, or if you got people, now this is a pet peeve of mine. Listen. I do not like for people to just call me and just start talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, because it takes you 15 minutes to tell them you're going to call them back. It takes you 15 minutes to tell them you're going to call them back. They want to pick your brain. No, ma'am. Here's the link. Book a session. You know, that's right, Faith. You know, look, you got people. They want to take you to. We don't need to be going on no lunch. Good evening, Larry. Thank you so much for joining. You know, and I want to go right there where Faith is. I started turning my phone to do not disturb. That's good. But see, even with that, I'm not. You know, for me, you know, for me, I'm just gonna tell you, this peak season. You know, but look. Pick your brain sections. I want to go here. Let's pick your brain. They want to pick your brain. Now, let me pick you this link up and let me copy you this link. You know, people they'll pick your brain and they want to, let's do lunch and tea and all this. There's nothing wrong with you collaborating and getting to know a person and networking, all these different sorts of types of things. But you already know what time it is. They're trying to pick your brain so they can go pay somebody else. They're getting a quote from you, but they paying the bill with somebody else. They're getting the ideas from you, but they paying the bill with somebody else. And this is the one that kills me the most. Not kill me. I'm not going to say that. This is the one that gives me most life. You got to watch the words that you speak. This is the one that gives me the most life. They will go and pay somebody else. Then they'll tell you how bad their experience was with what they spent. And you like, oh, really? Wow. They will spend good money and waste a lot of your time. And we let them. Y'all let them. Y'all let them. I don't let them. People allow people to waste their time to go and pay somebody else. And then they'll come and waste some more of your time to tell you about the experience that they had with the person that did not produce, did not provide, did not do what they thought that they were going to do. Isn't that ironic? So we're going to get ready to get off of here. I was on here longer than I thought, but you know, I don't have nothing to do. And look, I'm off of work until January the 4th. So there ain't no telling what you may see from me. No telling what you may see from me. So get ready. Get ready. But laying all jokes aside, which I really hadn't said anything that was a joke, because everything I said was really real. I want you to evaluate when you're most productive. And see, is that the time that you're trying to get done what you need to get done? Or are you waiting till you mentally drain and physically drain, and then you say, oh, now I don't feel like it, I can't do it. And now you're frustrated with yourself because you feel like I didn't get anything done. When people tell me the price for my packages are too expensive, I tell them I actually have clients who pay more. That's right. And then Faith, this, you know, what I like about you and so many others, you know, we invest in ourselves. The best investment that one could make is within themselves. So when we start thinking something is too expensive for us, you have to check the way we're thinking. Because for me, it's not too expensive. And sometimes we may not see how we can pay for it. But as we consistently hear and as we experience, you don't even have to have the money before you make a decision to do a thing, right? When you make a decision and say, you know, I'm going to do this. And I mean, and this is what people get tripped up at. We will create debt for a burger. We will swipe our credit card to go out to dinner. But we will not swipe a credit card for a program that gives and keeps giving. Because when you learn something, my grandma said, when you get it up here, baby, can't nobody take it from you. When you get it up there, can't nobody take it. When you learn something, can't nobody take that. So you can continue to make that thing go over and over and over and over and over and over again and keep reaping the benefits. When I make an investment, I always said this investment is going to be 10 times. So I made a $8,000 investment, so I'm looking for a return of $80,000. You got to evaluate your investments. Investments is looking for a ROI. What is the return on the investments that you're making with your time when people are pulling and snatching you in all of these different directions, taking you off of the task that potentially can make you some money, to make you impactful, to build your legacy, and to get you moving toward the life of your dreams? So think about it. Start 10 timing your time that you spend with people. Like, dang, that's a lot of time. When you think about, if you're spending an hour with somebody, you think of that as 10 hours and you ask yourself, was it worth it? Was that worth it? You start evaluating what you're doing and who you're doing it with. Darren Hardy of Success Magazine said that you plan to invest at least 10% of how much money you want to earn each year in personal development. Yes. You got to put it in development. And a lot of people think it's a waste of time. I will spend $150 to $200 on books every month. It's not a waste of time for you to put something in your mind. Elevate your mind and get yourself together, because a lot of stuff we spending on is killing us. It is killing us softly. And we think that if we put something, we think that if we put a few dollars into our personal development, how valuable can that be? How could you put a number to it? If it's 5,000, if it's 10,000, if it's 15,000, if it's going to prepare you for it and you can do 10 times that. But see, our minds will wrap around a little because it cannot even imagine. It cannot even imagine the vastness of what you can do. Elevate your mind. You have to elevate your mind. And how do you do that, coach? People will use you and won't support you. They sure will. But you know what, princess? Some of it is our fault. You know why? Because we let them. You may use me one time. You may use me one time, but we cannot continue to allow. You may be a new victim to a new person, but no, I'm not gonna be no repeat victim to the stuff that you have going on. I already know what you're about. You ain't talking about nothing. You ain't putting out nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You have to really, and see, people think you being so funny when you say that. But see, they don't say nothing when they draining you dry. They don't say nothing when they dry. People will dry your dreams up. Oh, y'all not going to talk to me. People will treat you the way you allow them to. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. People will dry your dreams up. It's like they'll come and get a shop vac and just dry it up. Just dry it. Wet dream, dry. They'll just dry it up. They dry it up with their negativity. They dry it up with their expectations. They dry it up with their opinions. But what you got to do is keep it wet, baby. Keep it wet, baby. Say your opinion don't matter. You're not going to distract me. I'm focused. I know what I want. I know. You got to know what it is that you want. And anything that's not taking you toward that, no, boo. We're not going to do you. We're not going to do you. Been there. They'll dry your dreams up. And we don't have to move in no secret either. You need to move. I need to move where you can see me moving. And, a lot of times we think I'm moving in secret because how the people there, that, you put it out here there. They can't steal nothing they can't steal what you got, because one, they can't do it the way you do it. You need to have it out there so your behind can be accountable, because the things that you do in secret, you don't stick to. Can we be real? Can we be real? We getting ready to shift this thing, but I feel it. I feel it down in my being. The things that you are secret to, you don't adhere to. The things that you are secret to, you don't accomplish. Because now I'm not talking about you trying to pop out and say you're going to get your degree tomorrow. That's great. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm talking about them things where you said you was going to do that, you know you haven't even started. You haven't even started on it. Why? Because you did it in secret. Nobody's going to call you out. Nobody's going to challenge you. Nobody's going to tell you, look, with their complaining. Yes, they'll mess you up. They will mess you up instead of talking to you about stuff that's not relevant, not valid. For me, I am not. I am not. I tell people, look, I'll try to give you a hand up, but you is not finna pull me down with that foolishness. I am not coming down in your pit. I'm not finna stay down there. We not finna be kumbaya and cum laude. We not finna be doing nothing. I reach down there to try to help you. If you want to stay down there, bye. I gotta go. We will go and sit in somebody else's pit and allow them to nag and pull on us and nag and pull on us till we're tired. Look, I'm getting ready to get out of here. But I wanted to I want you to really think about when you are most productive. God says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are created just below the angels, and we have king blood in our veins. And we need to act like we know that and govern ourselves accordingly. Amen. Amen. You know, when you know who you are, you know who you're not. Therefore, you don't have to be a people pleaser, because I'm a God pleaser. Yeah, when you know who you are, you know who you are not. But it is important for you to identify yourself as sons and daughters of the Most High King. If you're not an investor, then their opinion don't count. Hello. As my sister like to say, hey, look, if you're not investors, your opinion don't count. It don't count. If you're not an investor, your pull to get me off my task, that don't count. That's not gonna fly either. We don't have time. We don't have time for that. So I need you to get your head down and your butt up. Get busy on your dreams. Know that we have 11 days to get some stuff moving, shaking. You don't have to wait till the end of the year. Don't say you're going to start off January the 2nd, 2021. Start now. Start now. Evaluating your time, where you spending your time, and who are you wasting time with. Yeah, that's a good one right there, because you're wasting some time with some people. You're wasting time with people that's not doing nothing, not trying to do nothing. They're not going anywhere, don't want to go nowhere, and they don't want to see you go anywhere. So you have to evaluate, where are you spending your time. Look, if you're new to me, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated. I am known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert. I help you to build unshakable confidence. Stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. And you're going to have to do that by being proactive, planning, and get folks up out of your space that's not trying to go anywhere. I'll talk to you later. Bye.